Team 1 got blue one on fishing. Here we go. Get your cameras ready. We're gonna do it again. He's right here.
Over here. Go on. Blue marlin, blue marlin, blue marlin.
Oh, yeah, baby. Great teaser. Reload it.
You can tell that these marlin are angry. They want to kill and stun everything that they see.
Let's go. Double header. We got one. Let's get the other. Woo! Welcome back to SFC Plus, the SFC Insider with us, Mark Farag. I'm Robbie Floyd, and let's talk about playoffs, will we? I mean, we're going to have a Super Bowl of bill fishing in October, that third week, down there between two Bisbee's events. It's going to be big time because we're going to crown a champion. That Zane Gray trophy is going to get passed to someone, and they're going to have to win it a different way in this playoff.
Absolutely. It's going to be super interesting to see how the season plays out and how these teams compete and go head-to-head, whether it's in the Gulf or the Atlantic. And, you know, we're right here. We're in week 1 of the tournament season.
Right.
We got teams down in Louisiana at the Hurricane Hole Open, you know, but we've got a lot of teams there, and there seems to be one that's really just showing out, and they're going to be my Twisted Tea ice-cold lock of the season.
Oh, who is it?
It's the Rising Suns.
I thought so.
Jacelyn is doing a great job. Her and the team, they're phenomenal. And, you know, they just came off a win at the catch. They're in catching mode. They've had 2 blue marlin as of the last update that I've heard. So, I mean, they're in catching mode. So I think they're going to be the lock.
I think that could be a good choice. I think with it being a playoff, I don't think you can count anybody out as long as you're in that playoff, because we're going to take 12 total teams. And in case you haven't been watching this year's tournaments, we've talked about it a bit. The top, 2 teams from both the Atlantic as well as the Gulf Division get an automatic bye in the first round. When you look at those brackets, like a football bracket, they're going to get a bye. So I think no matter what, I think the ones that the most advantageous, you have to get first or second in the Gulf or Atlantic. What about the Atlantic side? Do you see one of those 2 teams? Who would it be there that might have that shot at it? Do you feel that there's any one single favorite? Is it Gypsy? I see in your eyes.
I'm feeling
out,
Gypsy.
T-Zero?
You're right. Your first guess, Gypsy. I feel like Captain Taylor Sanford, he is an absolute slayer.
Okay.
He catches the tuna. It's his thing. But I think they're going to do really well in the billfish division, and they're going to get in there, and they're going to be, again, my Twisted Tea ice-cold lock from the Atlantic side.
Okay, there's Mike Farag's side of things. That's what he's picturing. Now, I'm looking at, we've got the top 2 in the Gulf and the Atlantic. You've also got 3 invites from specific tournaments, some specialty tournaments. We've got, the offshore event in Alabama, coming out of Mobile. We've got the OBBC, Oak Bluffs, a Gypsy-type tournament, and other teams as well. And then we also have Walker's Cay. And that'll be the first one. That's going to set the tone. We're going to have a guaranteed entrant from Walker's Cay. Caribbean, Cabo San Lucas, 2 areas that we have not fished on the Sport Fishing Championship.
It's pretty interesting to see how these teams are going to be able to adapt to different regions and different local areas. You know, I think you have someone up your sleeve that's really fished around all these areas, right?
Well, I think so, because that's what my Twisted Tea ice cold lock I think might be lights out, because we've seen them win once before at OBBC. So check that box as a guaranteed bid. Now, if they don't finish in the top 2, which they could, they wouldn't get that first round bye. But you get them in that field, it sure does seem like Rob Carmichael. I think that he's dialed in with various fisheries around the country, around the world. He's fishing right now in the Caribbean. We know he does well on the Atlantic coastline. He mentioned Argentina, Costa Rica, Puerto Rico. He's done all of those things. I think the variety is the spice of life, but I think that mindset of I can catch a variety of fish all over the world, I think that's going to be a big factor. But also, I don't want to count out Lifeline. Can I have a 1A and 1B?
Yeah.
Lifeline, Blake Bridges, I think, could be on a new team. If they qualify and get in there, Blake was at the Bisbees last year with All In and Greg Trenner. But now that he's on Lifeline and catching fish, already a blue marlin in Louisiana, I think we get him having fun throughout the year. You put him on a fishery that he's used to, I think that could be something special.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, being an angler or a captain that's fished all over the world, you take different aspects and different skills. You know, it helps you be able to adapt to these different changes in different locations that these teams are going to have to fish. So it's going to be super interesting to see how things develop.
But again, only the guys that finish first or second on the Atlantic or the Gulf get that first round bye. And after that, it's a head-to-head matchup going into that third and final day. And that third and final day, we'll have 4 teams with 1 coming out on top.
that doesn't make you excited, you need to go take up golf or something else.